So we have stock down, stock up, stock down still. So let's knock these
Oh,
out.
okay.
I'll start off on the stock up. Stock up. I'm gonna go So we'll do offense. Stock up offense. I'm gonna go Bo Limmer. He looked great.
Okay.
You know what's crazy, and I mean this sincerely. He got the least help on the D line, on the O line, and he did the best of everyone on the O line. He was actually really good with the least help, and I mean, you gotta look at it. He's going up against Hargrave and Malik. Like he's actually going up against some talented dudes in the middle there, and he held his own on both the pass and the run. Bo Limmer, it looks like he's the real deal, man.
Yeah,
It
man.
really
Yes,
does.
sir. Yeah. You've been high on him from the beginning, so credit to
Hey,
you.
shout out Denna. Denna was the first one to be high. So Denna got in an argument with someone. He's like, hey, if Bo's good, we might be able to get rid of Jonah Jackson and recoup some of that money. And so when he said that, I was like, you know what? Let me see what Bo's about. And I went and rewatched all his film from the preseason. I watched all the preseason games over again where he was in the game. I was like, dang, Bo is good. So
Yeah.
since before the season, I was high on him, but Denna was the first one to pick him up. Denna is one of our buddies in Discord. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a legit question, man. Like, if Bo Limmer keeps this up, what do we do with Jonah Jackson?
We
That's
trade
a
him.
legit thing.
Well,
You can move off his contract after the season.
okay, that's what I was about to ask.
It, it's going to hurt a little bit, but we make some cash back. So why don't you guys go your stock up? I'll actually look it up on the side and give you an exact number.
Okay. Where you want to go or me?
Sure. I mean, I'll go. You
Okay.
actually mentioned it, Joe, and I'm surprised you pulled it because it's more of a niche name. Is my stock up was Ryan Wendell, man, with the offensive line.
Oh,
I'll say this. I'll say run blocking and Ryan Wendell. Um, man, the holes were there all day against at least personnel wise. What is a good front? Wendell is playing with a bunch of rotating pieces. Some of them are backups. Alaric Jackson, first game back of the season, and he's making it work, man. And they're playing complementary football. That's as an offensive line, they're playing complementary. They're playing in sync. It just looks really organized. I wish our secondary looked like that. Stock up Ryan Wendell and their run blocking.
for me,
That's a good one.
I'm gonna be not generic, but I'm gonna be what you guys think I'm gonna be. My stock up is obviously Tutu Atwell. Um,
Okay.
me
Okay.
being the probably the biggest Tutu Atwell fan in the fan base, I just think that his stock's gonna go up just because Cooper and Puka's out, and if he continues to be ran in motion like he has, and continue just to beat guys over the top, I just think he maybe could have a 400, 500 yard, seven touchdown season. Deshaun Jackson, like you know what I mean.
Yeah, he had a good game, man. He had a good game. I hear you.
All right, so I did get the data on that. Let me see if this shows up in the screen. It's not showing up well, but it's good enough. So if we hit the little, you guys don't know Spo track, you hit the little scissors over here on the right. And 2025, if we trade him, because he's still a good player, somebody will go for him. Well, let me break it down. Signing bonus, very little. Roster bonus, very high. Roster bonus is tradable. The team that pays the roster bonus is the team that has the player at the time the roster bonus is due. Okay, so even though it might be guaranteed already, if it's a team that has him when it's due that pays it. Signing bonuses stay with the team that signed the contract. Okay.
By the way, again, we're talking about Jonah Jackson, just so you guys are on.
Yeah. Jonah Jackson. How tradable he is after this season if we want to go Avila left guard, Limmer center, and Dotson right guard. Okay. So if we traded him before the season next year, we save $16 million in the cap and only have $2.8 million dead cap. That is, dude. Remember we mentioned when he was drafted how well structured the contract was. This is why it's well structured. It doesn't really give you the ability to cut him in this season, but it gives you the ability to trade him. So
Right.
with Bo Limmer looking like he's a stud, if Bo Limmer's a stud, man, I'm gonna lose my mind because having a left guard and a center cost controlled is like the best.
Yeah.
That's such a
Yeah.
huge
Hey,
deal.
hey, Ethan, you know what that is? I think that's just the universe paying us back for missing out on Creed Humphrey. That's what it
You know
Yeah.
what? And
I
you just brought up Tutu as your stock up.
is.
Yeah. It's not even fair to Tutu, man, because I feel like no matter how good he does, I'll always think about Creed Humphrey, and he's never going to be as good as Creed Humphrey. So I'll
Tutu
always
just should
think
have
about
never been a second round pick. The crazy
yeah,
thing
it's not even
is
his fault. It's our fault for taking him.
The
that high.
insiders even said they hadn't spoken to another team that thought about taking Tutu before the 4th round. The report was we wanted D. Eskridge, who was a deep threat, and
Right.
when he got
Go for
taken,
trap.
he's been hurt his whole career. I actually think he's a good player,
Okay,
but he's
fair enough.
literally. You
Fair
want to call that trash? He's literally been hurt every season. But
Right.
he got picked the pick before us by the Seahawks, which has happened many times before with those losers. But I think that they just panicked and said, "Oh, Tutu's the next deep threat on our big board. Let's take him." I think that's what happened. If we would have taken Tutu in the 4th, all of this is much more palatable. But that's for a different topic of conversation. All right, stock up defense. You know what? I'm gonna go with my boy because he got doubted by some people. Some people were talking about what a mistake it was that we spent so much draft capital taking him in the 2nd round. I'm going with Braden Fisk because he was a bully, dude. He's smart. His motor came into play. His strength came into play. His pass rush moves came into play. His run stuff, like bro. I've talked about in the past how he's a complete player. He used all those skills and all those natural talents on display against the Niners, against the freaking 49ers, our biggest rivalry. What a huge game. What a huge moment for him. And he balled out.
Yeah, that's a good one. He played really well. I'll go next, and mine is Byron Young. And guys, obviously, there's been a lot of hype for Jared Verse, rightfully so. He's a really exciting player. I want to give some love to Byron Young. He played well. He played pretty dang well. And then I just want to specifically highlight the, we talked about it near the end of the first half. He got the strip sack, and I was in Discord talking to a lot of Rams fans, and people kept kind of saying, "Oh, dang, we didn't get to convert it though. We didn't get any points out of it." And that's true. But what it did was it stopped San Fran from kicking a field goal in a game that we only won by 3 points. So that was absolutely a massive play by Byron Young. He's consistently getting penetration. He looks really good. Stock up, Byron Young. Great play.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that one wholeheartedly. But I'm gonna go with a coach, just like Will did on the offensive stock up. I'm gonna go with Giff Smith. He's the D line coach. I just think that he has those guys running on all cylinders, man. I think except Bobby Brown, like we spoke about. Other than Bobby Brown, I think he has every other defensive lineman just working crazy. Braden Fitz has been good. Jared Verse has been amazing. Ryan Young has been steady. Clippy Turner has been himself. He hasn't shown the sack numbers, but his pressure's been up.
He
and
was
I've
actually
been seeing
he
him
was
definitely-
he was steady and key against the run too. He made a lot of plays against the
Yep.
run.
Him too. Tyler Davis coming in. I seen sorry, I messed
Gallimore.
Keep forgetting his name. Gallimore, he came in. I seen him in a couple of plays. I just
No.
I think he's doing a good job, really.
Yeah, I agree. He's actually I was really nervous about moving on from Eric Henderson, and I think he's done a tremendous job. Everyone's ready. Everyone's they're you talk about coaches that you want to run through a wall for. They're all running through walls every freaking game, like every drive. They're all,
they are.
So that's a great stock up. All right, so we get them all out of the way. Ready for stock down?
Yeah, let's do it.
Stock down. I am going to. Man, I just after watching the film, I'm gonna give stock down to Kyren Williams, and I'll tell you why specifically. I'll tell you. No, people can hate on me all they want. They can hate on me all they want, and I'll tell you. But I'm gonna explain it to you. This game, if you're gonna be the merchant that gets big games with great run blocking, and you're gonna suck when there's bad run blocking, you got to have a big game with good run blocking. This run blocking this week was as good or better than last year. He had consistently in the second half of last year. This is the kind of game Kyren was giving you 150 yards last year with. I mean, I wish I could show you guys some of the film and some of the stills. We played this game with Kyren. It's like we freeze frame it when the decision to cut a direction is made. It has to be made, and like whatever direction you think Kyren should go in, he's probably not going that direction. In fact, oftentimes he just runs straight into the nearest defender, which is insane. It's weirder than it sounds, but it happens. I just need more, man. He's leaving so much meat on the bone. All 3 weeks, he's just left so many yards. And I appreciate the 3 touchdowns, to be honest. The catching touchdown, I'm not even going to hate on that. That was a great play by him and Stafford. Good call by McVay. The 2 rushing touchdowns, I mean, a semi-truck could have fit through those holes, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but literally, you could have had Stafford run through those if you wanted to.
Ronnie Rivers could have gotten those.
Yeah. So if you're going to have a top tier level O-line run blocking with the 2 tight ends and the running and the receivers, everyone just giving you elite run blocking, you got to put up more than 3.7 yards a carry, bro. You have to.
Yep. Okay, I think that's fair.
I agree.
I guess I'll go next. My stock, Tyler Johnson, and someone that after the Detroit game where he had a good game, and obviously I knew Puka was out, and then Cooper went down. I thought that this was somebody who would pick up the slack. Guys, I kind of think he's just the odd man out in this rotation between you got Tutu as the deep threat, Whittington I like, D-Rob I like. There's obviously only so many people you can have on the field, and now we're running some 12 personnel. So I'm sure Tyler Johnson will make plays here and there, but I've kind of given up on him having like a steady role and like steady production while Puka and Cooper Kupp are out. I think he's just kind of, like I said it already, I think he's just the odd man out in that wide receiver rotation. So stock down for Tyler Johnson.
I do remember someone saying on the podcast recap after week 1 that he was going to get overrated by the coaching staff and the fans for that one big catch.
Is that person you?
Oh yeah, that was me.
Oh,
okay.
Good catch.
But it was a good dude. You know what it was? It was just like the perfect storm. The 2 guys that he made miss were just ready to be made miss. Like it wasn't like an insane. It was a really nice turnaround. It wasn't mind blowing. It didn't deserve 2 guys literally just sliding past him and falling over. And then he just had wide open space, and I was like, that felt more like defensive error than it did something incredible he did. I was like, I need to see something incredible from Tyler before I'm on the Tyler train. And he's been really, you're right. He's been really disappointed the last 2 weeks.
I hear you. That's like the week 1 special because no one's tackled yet.
Hey,
I hear you. That's fair.
I want to see more Jordan Whittington.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So for me, my stock down. Oh, actually, before I go to the stock down real quick, I know we talked about special teams, but I just want to. I don't know if we said his name enough, but I just want to shout out Xavier Smith.
Xavier Smith.
What a punt!
No, it
what
was
a punt return. What a story that guy has, man. Shout out to him.
Well, for shouting out special teams real quick though, can we shout out Joshua Game Winner Cardi?
Yeah.
Bro, every kick he made was just that I talked about in the preseason when he was struggling a little bit. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, our kicker sucks." I was like, "No, bro. Every kick he makes just flies straight. Even his misses flew straight."
Yeah.
They're such pretty kicks, man.
Right off his foot, you're like, okay,
no,
that's going.
Because when guys miss it, mostly it's a shank. It goes and then it just starts curving hard. I haven't seen a single kick from him curve. And hey, shout out Ethan Evans had like multiple inside the 20. Actually, this deserves to be looked up. Let me actually, because dude, they were good. We had Cardi 2 for 2, 3 for 3. He had 3 he only had 3 punts. 2 of them were inside the 20.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ethan Evans is a great player, man. We've been blessed with Johnny Hecker.
Hey,
this guy.
But Ethan Evans rookie last year, Joshua Cardi rookie this year. We may have just found our kicker and punter for the future.
Yeah, for sure.
For like long-term future, bro. We've been through some stuff between Hecker and Greg Zuerlein, and now we've been through some stuff. I'm just gonna say the name Sloman and PTSD to all the Rams fans.
Yeah, guys. If you think we're kind of nerding out and being wild about special teams, before Ethan got here last year, it was so bad, dude.
So bad, and the special teams coaching was terrible. Like, bro, it's been a nightmare. You want to not have to worry about special teams, but now it feels like special teams has become a strength, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even the kick return with quorum. But anyways, absolutely.
Yeah. For my stock, real quick, my stock down. I can't really key in on any offensive player, but I'm gonna just do 3 weeks in a row. Ethan just said I'm gonna just go Kyren Williams again. Everybody knows I love Kyren, but I'm just gonna keep giving him stock downs until he plays good. That's what I'm.
This is crazy,
that's what I'm keep giving him stock downs until I can finally give him a stock up.
Hopefully
it's next week.
I just literally praise Sean McVay nonstop, but stock down for the fact that he hasn't played Blake Corum yet. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, what is that,
When
man?
I
don't
saw
understand.
Ronnie Rivers, I wanted to flip the table in the bar that I was sitting in. Like, I was so mad, and then Ronnie Rivers just has the lamest lame duck runs. Nothing. Anyways, let's go stock down defense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna pull a Joe. I'm gonna harp on the same thing I've been harping on all 3 games. The middle of the field is an utter disaster, especially in the. I can't tell you guys watching how many times it was Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner making a play, bailing out Troy Reader, Rose Boom, freaking Bobby Brown. Bro, that trio on the front 7 is horrific. It's the worst I've ever seen as a Rams fan. That nose tackle inside linebacker trio, and obviously the inside linebacker duo is the worst I've ever seen. I think actually ever on any team, they're that bad. Because really, neither of them are not. They're not only not starter level. They're not even like backup level. They're bad.
Yeah.
They're. I mean, I challenge any one of the comment sections. Name me one thing either of those guys have done well consistently this season. They've been bad in man coverage. They've been bad in zone coverage. They were in zone all last game, and they literally did nothing the entire game. But watch balls fly all around them. Bad against the run. They haven't been good blitzing. They've done nothing in the blitz game. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah, they have. They're just awful. I agree with that. I'm gonna go first this time. My stock down is Kobe Durant, and specifically for the reason that from what I saw and from what I talked to Ethan about, that Kobe Durant was on Jawan Jennings for a lot of the game, and just for Jawan Jennings looking like Randy Moss, Jerry Rice hybrid.
Yeah.
And
Man.
you
What
gotta
what
you
was
gotta
that,
you gotta
dude?
get
That was
stock down.
insane.
You have to.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, the
No,
Randy
that
Moss play. You said Kobe Durant, right?
Yeah, Kobe Durant.
That
Yeah,
Randy Moss play was freaking Quentin Lake though, because they both suck.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
Dude, but
was
that
saying
was
that
actually
Jawan
that
Jennings
play was
looked
good
like
with
Randy
great
Moss
defense
the whole
anyway.
game.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
looking like it was bad. That's a fair one.
Yeah.
Kobe Durant was probably the worst secondary player of the day,
Hmm.
Yeah.
besides maybe Quentin Lake.
Yeah. No, that is a good that one. I mean, that has to be mentioned. So that was a good one. Guys, I'm just gonna cheat and do 2 because honestly, there's 2 things that come to mind. First, very quickly, Christian Roseboom, because I I wasn't high on him already, but I don't even think I think he's the might be the worst linebacker I think he's worse than Reader, and I can't remember watching a linebacker that's worse than this guy in my whole life of watching Rams football. So the stock is even lower on him. I think he's got to get out of there, man. And you know what? If the reason why we're not taking Reader off the field is because he's the green dot guy, then okay, fine. Get Spade, take out Roseboom and get Spates in there alongside Reader then, because Spates should be on the field, man. And I'll just leave it at that for now, because I know we already all agree on that. The other one is Bobby Brown, and you say, how can you go stock down on a guy who didn't play? I think, and Ethan, you've been all over this. I think Bobby Brown is a big reason why our run defense suffered the first 2 games. He's out this game. Our run defense looks a lot better. Our front, the anchor, the push is a lot better. With those guys behind Brown who played, I think it was Davis and what is it?
Gallimore.
Gallimore.
Gallimore actually had a couple nice run stops. He's solid. They're both good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. So just by way of
Comparatively.
them stepping up and playing well, stock down for Bobby Brown. I'd like to see him. I'm okay if he stays on the bench.
I agree, and I want to add on to some of you guys might be thinking, oh, it's a little hyperbolic to say Christian Rose is the worst linebacker I've ever seen. But
It's not.
but
It's not.
I want to introduce you to one of the ways that I think about football, and that is basically, I think every position has different responsibilities, right? And they have different levels of importance. The number one responsibility with the number one importance for a linebacker is what? Tackling. He might be the worst tackler I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
even if you think there's any redeeming qualities to his game, which you shouldn't because there's not, the main responsibility of an inside linebacker is to tackle well, and he is one of the worst I've literally ever seen.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
I hear you.
All right.
I'm totally with you.